It's a power hour. Listen. Fucking.
Let's do it.
Woke, you're dead. We can see whatever we want now.
Yeah,
we're back, baby. You're prolapsers again. We're back.
No. What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea why you even say that. I have no idea what you're talking about.
We're back. Listen, we're back.
So
I can say mongoloid. I can say mongoloids again.
It was too big to rig, Zell.
Yeah, it was too big to rig.
Oh, you're talking about. You're talking about the presidency. Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
DONALDTRUMP, Donald Trump. I mean, listen. If you're listening to this Power Hour, we're 3 Canadians. Dan left. Dan left the country. He's one of those libtarbs that's like, well, if he's in, I'm out.
He might not come back from Thailand this time.
No, he's done. That
might be it.
Yeah, he's like, he threw his passport off the plane as soon as he landed in Thailand. He's done. That's it. You'll never see Dan again. He was too rattled. Threw his vote away for
Is that
Kamala.
before or after he made the video on TikTok of him scream crying into the camera?
You know what? One of the funniest things about, I mean, from an outside perspective of Canada looking in, like nothing to do with politics, I was like, I figured he was going to win pretty handedly just by looking at other nations in Europe, all kind of swinging right. Our election swinging right.
Yeah, but how could you favor that when you just get like 20,000 votes that come out of nowhere?
What do you mean? Oh, for the NDP, yeah.
No, not even just NDP. 2020.
Oh yeah, no,
should have been a landslide too.
But you said 20,000.
Sorry, 20 million. Sorry, 20 million.
And that's it. I mean, like, let's get into that conspiracy. Now looking back at that 2020, everyone I think now has seen like the chart of the voting graphs, right? And
no,
it's
like,
like
just 20 million more people wanted to vote in 2020 than normal.
Yeah.
You're talking about consistently over time. There's been X amount of the percentage that voted, and in 2020, all of a sudden there was 20% more people that voted. Is that what? Yeah. That's what happened, right?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
15 million people didn't show up for the Democrats. That's fucking wild.
Maybe they had enough.
Yeah, but there was no swing either, which is like you think that they would.
They didn't swing right. They just didn't vote.
They just didn't vote this time.
Well, maybe that
makes sense.
In their mind, that's better. Like, I'm just not voting this time. That's just ridiculous.
But you know what, though? The thing is like, if you were going to rig it, you would rig it again. The thing is, to me, I'm like, we've seen such a polar shift. I feel like we're in bizarro world. You have people like Donald Trump's. We're going to have an insurrection January 6th. we are in bizarro world. Yeah, pink-haired insurrection, dude. They're doing the same. Elon Musk satellites fucking rigged the election. That's this. They had the Italy gate in 2020 with the Italian satellites helped rig the election for the Democrat. Like, we're seeing just the left have the exact same points now 4 years later as the right. It's fucking wild.
They've been saying election fraud for 50 years. You know, someone always mentions some type of election fraud.
Dude, 4 years ago, it was, we got to get rid of the electoral college. And then the Democrats were like, well, you lost, so boo-boo. And now this year, the Democrats are like, we got to get rid of the electoral college. This is bullshit. You're like, this is fucking insane. Both sides just flip sides every 4 years right now. It's insane.
Well, I mean, it's slowly been going that way anyways, because you look at, like, traditionally, it's always been, you know, the conservatives that have been more like staunchly, you know, with war, we're gonna have to defend our country, we're gonna invade other countries, we're gonna do all that other shit, and then, you know, it's like the left are the ones that clamoring to invade other countries. I
mean, we've kind of had a rewriting of political spectrums in the sense that to be like liberal and like free and open society, equal opportunities, no matter what, anti-war, all that stuff, and now it's like
the freedom of speech,
all that stuff like was considered like liberalism, and that's kind of like now it's like, no, we should actually, I think we should get rid of the Constitution because it's getting in the way.
Yeah,
you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Shut the fuck up and get your. I'm not gonna say that word because I don't want to get banned.
I mean,
there's no getting banned anymore.
They're still getting banned, all right?
I'm not saying that word. Banned. I've said it too many times.
It is crazy. I mean, and if you're listening to this show, I mean, podcasts usually attract like-minded people, so I'm sure everyone feels more or less the same as us.
This podcast, historically, does better under a Trump presidency.
This is true. It's true.
I'm just saying.
2016 to 2020 was great times for the podcast.
Good time for podcasts. That's why we wanted Trump back in. If history repeats itself, we're about to skyrocket, baby.
He's the podcaster's president.
Why are the politics so much more polarizing in the States?
They're getting here too.
You just seen in our election people that would normally vote for a Green Party were like, we have to vote with NDP to keep the conservatives out. That's what happened.
Do you think we're gonna do you think when Polyev gets in, we're gonna have liberals flooding social media with scream crying and like taking vows of celebracy?
It's gonna be
100%. Fucking.
That's
my favorite thing. It's like we're not going to reproduce. I'm not having sex until Trump's out of it. It's like it's like doing them a favor. You're not creating any new liberals.
Okay, so I've been looking into that because I'm like, everyone's been like, we've lost rights, and I'm like, I don't know what rights they've lost, because from what I've read is everything's up to the states anyways. So it's like, it's just not.
You're going to lose your right to have tartrazine and all your fucking food coloring additives and all that other shit.
Why is it that Pebbles down here have 18 ingredients and Canada they only have 3 ingredients?
His voice is something else, man.
He's the man, though.
He's
cool. I fucking love that guy.
He's fine. Nothing wrong
Dude,
with
he's making moves already.
Weird. Like, I mean, did you guys see that bear story where he fucking dropped off the bear at Central Park, the dead bear? I was like, fuck, that was weird.
I didn't hear that story. Tell me the story.
What? Let's go.
He shot a bear and then put it in the back of his car, and then it was like a bear cub, in this car, and then he brought it to New York, and then he was like gonna get caught. And I may be off on the details a little bit here. I'm paraphrasing.
You better be fucking slandering my boy here.
But then he tells the story, and then he's like, yeah, and I was gonna leave. I was getting on a flight, and I was like, fuck, I got this bear in the back of my. I got this bear in the back of my car.
I got this bear in the back of my car, Joe Rogan.
He's like, well, you know what'll be funny? I'm just gonna pose the bear in Central Park in New York. So he pulls off somewhere, pulls the dead bear out, and poses it in like a bike lane. He's like, this will be funny.
Like Smokey the Bear?
Dude, here's the story. I have the story. It's right here. It's exactly it. I had an old bike in my car that somebody had asked me to get rid of, and I said, let's go put the bear in Central Park, and we'll make it look like he got hit by a bike.
What? And then got shot afterwards?
No, the bear was already dead.
That's what I mean, but it's got a bullet hole in it, so it obviously got more than just a hit by a bike.
Yeah, but so he just dumped the carcass in the Central Park, and he's like, "This will be funny." That's fucking weird, dude.
That is weird.
Kennedy said the bear's discovery appeared on the front page of every paper, drawing wide media coverage and prompting investigations from law enforcement, which he said worried him because he'd left fingerprints behind. But he was never blamed for the incident, and luckily the story died down after a while and stayed dead for a decade.
Oh, okay, so this is a while ago.
10 years ago.
But then he came out and told everyone, that's weird. But listen, I don't disagree with the things he's saying. Like, listen, the fucking healthcare is fucked up, dude.
Yeah, no, dude,
the food is fucked up. There's something wrong when from 1980 till now you've tripled obesity rates. Something's going on.
It's not the people's fault. It's no one's fault,
Well, it's weird that nobody's...
Body positivity, Braden. What are you doing?
Yeah. Body positivity's dead. I saw this coming. That's why I started losing weight.
It's true.
I was like, being fat's not going to be cool anymore. I was like, I better start trimming down.
There's a list of fat-friendly influencers or whatever they were calling themselves?
I was on there for a long time.
That ended up perishing from there.
It was like alien theories.
From obesity-related illnesses?
From obesity-related illnesses.
Yeah, it's insane. I moved up the seniority list so fast on that obesity list.
I mean, there's like having some extra pounds, which like most people will throw on some extra pounds.
But that's not obesity.
But then there's people, and then there's obesity. Yeah.
We're talking different. Like morbidly obese populations in the States. It's bad. I mean, Canada's not that much better, but
it's better, but yeah, it's not far behind. Yeah.
It's much needed.
We need, health. I mean, the pharmaceutical spending in the States, isn't it something insane? Like trillions of dollars, on advertising.
Which makes sense because you're encouraging these people to live these unhealthy lifestyles, and then we're going to give them, we're not going to fix these problems. We're going to treat these problems, and we're going to make a shit ton doing it.
I saw his quote when they're like asking him about the FDA and stuff. And he's like, well, you got a message for them? And he's like, yeah, keep your records and pack your bags.
That's badass.
Like, holy, that's fucking dope.
Okay. I'm off on the trillion. That's my bad. Let me do a quick fact check on myself.
Yeah.
$billion+ a month on
I like
just
this
on
fact checking.
on
We got
advertising.
no more room for fake news here.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got to make room for fake news.
No more room for fake news. Gotta polish it up.
Dude, the other crazy fact that I saw on there was that Kamala, she raised $1 billion in her campaign, and they're $20 million in debt
What?
from the campaign.
Okay.
She raised over $1 billion, and they're $20 million in the hole.
That's
Well,
got to
stop
be
fucking
that's
paying
fake
Megan Thee
news.
Stallion to twerk on stage for you to get votes. Like, what are you doing?
That's not fake news. That's legit. Trump came out and was like, he's like, you know what? We'll help her pay it.
All right, there's CBS News. Kamala Harris campaign surpasses
Kamala!
$1 billion in fundraising.
That's crazy.
You know what? Because America's not technically like a pure democracy, where they call it a constitutional republic, right?
Yeah.
So their voting system is a lot different than ours. But the one thing the people should have power in is who is going to be the candidate for the party. But this time they said, nah, fuck that. We're just going to put this hated vice president in
here.
real quick,
and this
it'll be
is
fine.
Again, from the people who are left leaning, listen to this podcast. We're in a country that's so far left that it would make your fucking liberals look like fucking. In our country, we would call Kamala Harris. We would call her comrade. We'd be like, she's Hitler. She's a threat to our democracy. That's how right wing she is compared to our politics. So like, this is coming from outside. We're outside looking in. So if you think we're bashing you, we're not. We're not bashing anyone. We're fucking above you.
If anything, we bash both sides.
We
bash everyone.
But like the fact of the matter, like, let's go through how bad of a campaign that was from the outside. You have fucking Joe Biden, who is, everyone saw it. Everyone saw the decline.
I don't know what you're talking about. That guy, Dan told me he's spry and his speeches
sharper than
are
an
articulate
attack.
and he can walk fine right to the end, right before he stepped down for.
That's what makes me the craziest, man.
Like, well, did you see that video they just posted of him where he's walking on the beach? I was like, this is cruel. Why would anyone take
What do you mean
this
walking
video?
on the beach?
Type in Joe Biden walking on the beach. Share it.
Joe
It's
Biden.
like, dude, it brought a tear to my eyes though. I felt so bad. I was like, I cannot believe.
What is there to
Yeah, I
feel
was
bad
like,
about?
but-
He looks his age. He's a senior citizen.
Yeah, but dude, this video is hard to watch. It's hard to watch. He's just trying to have a stroll with Jill on the beach.
The thing that
I'm not going to show it because it's going to get us triggered on YouTube, but I'm just watching.
it's going to get us
Mute it?
assassinated.
He's walking like an old man. What's wrong with this?
He looks like an old man because he's an old man. But like,
he's struggling.
that's the biggest thing that I struggled with this.
Poor guy. He's old. Let him retire. Let him have.
Look at Dan, because he's not here, so I can't have this. But like, Dan is one of the most intelligent people I know, right? But he's so, like, politics are so polarizing in the States where you're either fucking blue or you're red. And it's like, Dan, you're a super intelligent person. It's okay to admit that you think Joe Biden might not be at his best and he's not the sharp, couldn't do it. There's no way.
He's
true.
good.
And it's like,
He's
there's no
fine.
fucking way you don't, like, I'm an idiot and I can see it. Joe Biden's probably got a higher IQ than I do at this point in time, and I can fucking see it. The guy's drooling, for fuck's sake. Like,
Right, but
it
then
just
you
couldn't.
you have him go on the, and listen, the fucking debates with both of them was bad. Like,
Totally.
it was really bad for Biden, but I didn't watch that and be like, that guy's still sharp. He's good.
No.
I went, ooh, this is.
Dude,
I was like,
I wouldn't be
this is who you're gonna
surprised.
vote between.
I wouldn't be surprised at the end of this presidency, Trump is in a very similar spot to where Joe Biden is right now.
The interesting
just
thing about Trump,
age-wise.
though, he didn't seem like that you always see it with the presidents. They have that rapid. They look like they age like 10 years. Didn't really, like, Trump definitely starting to look his age, but it didn't look like it hit him as hard as it has. Like,
you look at Obama was like what 40 something when he was the president, and when he left after 2 terms, he looked like he was 70 years old.
oh yeah, he looks better now, but.
He's out of the job. He's having a good time. He's making money, making 100 times more money than not being the president.
You watch Biden next time we see him, he's looking like fucking lean and mean, looking like he's like 60
He's at the
years
gym.
old,
He's like fucking
just-
squatting and
oh yeah. He's doing fucking beach sprints.
Know what it is? Maybe it's this.
Kim and
maybe
Obama.
maybe the White House is just so old. There's some type of fucking mold in the walls that you go in there and
Could be.
you just fucking slowly get poisoned by the mold.
So you have,
It's like, what a stressful fucking job that would be.
100%.
It's like those pictures of those kids that you saw go away to World War I and World War II.
Yeah, they come back.
They
Kids,
come
yeah.
back looking like they're 60.
They leave. They're 18. They come back look like they're 60 years old.
That's
4
crazy.
years.
And then you have, everyone sees this and they're like, every news station is like, behind the scenes, this guy is, you should see him. He's doing backflips.
Working. Yeah.
He's working. It's insane. You've never seen anything like it. Everyone's like, well, could he show us any of that? And no. And so then they have that debate and they're like, it's painfully obvious. They're like, Joe's no good. Kamala. They throw her in. She doesn't even have to go to the fucking Democratic National Convention. And even Dan was like, oh no, they're going to do a vote. They're going to do a vote. And they never did. They just made her I was like, ooh, that seems like a fucking weird move. That
might have been the biggest mistake.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're not even putting up forth your best candidate at this point. Or who knows? Maybe there is somebody that could have been better.
Yeah.
There's
Right?
100% better people. They're just not part of the system. Not
That's
part
what
of the
I find.
machine.
Like you look at, especially this year, because like I don't know. Did you guys? Okay, I'm gonna sound like a homer. Did you guys watch the Rogan episode with JD Vance?
I did.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't.
Yeah,
I listened to it. I didn't watch it.
Guy,
No, I
like
didn't, yeah.
I'll be honest with
He's
you, like
well-spoken.
that guy got fucking. He's been getting blasted over
For fucking the coach. It's funny.
But other than that, like this, he's funny. He's educated. He's well spoken. Right, like that. Like you look at it, Trump looks like he aligned somebody with somebody that almost like was a bit more refined than him, said things a little better than he did, and like elevated him a bit. Right. And then you look at Joe Biden, and then he comes in with maybe one of the softer choices for vice president and Kamala. Right. Didn't really seem to like raise Joe Biden up very much.
One of the critiques I've been reading in that point is that Obama needed someone that wouldn't outshine him, so he picked Joe Biden. And then Joe Biden needed someone that wouldn't outshine him, so he picked Kamala. And then Kamala needed someone that wouldn't outshine her, so she picked
Tim Walz.
Tim Walz. And so it's just like you had this kind of cascade of like,
Just progressively worse.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense though, because it's like.
But here's the thing. I think we're the three of us pretty average. You know, I would say like even keel, like average guys across the board. And I was like, I think it was
if anything, a little bit
misstep.
below average.
Personally,
Below
below
average, yeah,
Let's
intelligence,
be
yeah.
honest here.
100%. But it's like, I thought it was a huge misstep too. It's like listen, I listened. People are always like, yeah, fucking Joe Rogan, this, Joe, whatever. She should have went on that show. It's the biggest fucking show in the world. It doesn't matter if you like him or not. It's the biggest fucking show. It's bigger than any news station. It's huge. To not go on there and talk, I was like, right away for me, I was like, well, then she's too scared to just have a fucking conversation.
That's a chance for you to have a bare minimum 2-hour fucking platform to sell yourself. Like, where else do you have that opportunity?
And you could have skewered Donald by just being normal, being normal, because his was bad.
His wasn't
with
good.
Joe.
He wasn't good.
You know why she didn't go?
Not good.
Because when he talked to Elon about it, and they said it's the hours 2 and 3 that are going to expose her. You could do all the talking points for an hour, keep keel, but as the conversation goes on after a couple hours, you're going to say that's going to be the real person, and maybe that real person does not want to be public because it's a bad choice.
And speaking of Elon, that doesn't, like, honestly, I'm not lost on the fact that the United States just voted for, basically the whim of an oligarch.
Yeah, no shit.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
like that's
$100 billion. Does whatever he wants.
The majority of the states voted who a billionaire, the richest man in the world, wanted them to vote for. That doesn't get lost on me. I'm like, listen,
Elon, but it's also
he's a
10,000 other rich people. Like, it's not just Elon, right?
No, I know. But let's go through that, because
Elon's the most publicly vocal billionaire to ever exist.
Does Trump win? Hold on. There are two absolute critical things for the Democrats. I don't know if Trump wins if these two things don't happen. One, I don't think Trump wins if Joe Biden announces Tesla as the United States government's EV supplier. instead he had that huge press conference where he's like, Ford is leading the world in EV technology. And Elon Musk was like, no, they're not. He's like, that's the fucking a bold-faced lie. It's Tesla. That's insane to say. And then like from that point on, I felt like he was kind of at war with the Democratic Party. Then he buys Twitter. If he buys Twitter, is Trump in? I don't know. Like we did see a huge shift in.
Well, I mean, I will say if Elon
Twitter
doesn't
and
buy
X.
Twitter and Twitter's allowed to exist in the same form it was, which we now know was being had government influence,
Huge.
Oh, yeah.
right? Not maybe to Dan's chagrin, it is true. There was now documented evidence of not just on both sides of the political spectrum, but there was government in this corporation that shouldn't be part of the government.
If you have government interference with FEMA, I feel like you would probably have it with social media platforms as well.
Yeah. No, I
Like
mean,
that was fucking nuts.
it's hard because we're not political pundits. I don't know the ins and outs of all these political subcommittees and all the other stuff that goes along with it. But you could feel like a massive shift. The last few years have just been like, well, you go through a pandemic and then the world pretty much is rebuilt. Like all this stuff is rebuilt.
Dude,
all these new laws.
You couldn't say the shit that everyone was thinking.
Well, I mean, the push again,
Yeah.
the push for people won't want to say censorship. They want to say like controlled speech. Like we want to eliminate hate speech. Sure, to a certain extent, you can't say or you shouldn't say this certain stuff. Sure, but to make it illegal and all this other stuff that's been happening, like you look at the stuff that's going on in the UK, how many people have been imprisoned for social media hate speech? Hundreds of people
fucking crazy.
for an action that actually had no action. It was like maybe they said something, they tweeted something, or they shared something that you could have said was hate speech, but they actually didn't commit any crime and they went to fucking jail. That stuff is kind of scary. That's very Orwellian,
scary.
right?
Yeah.
That's like that book's supposed to be fiction.
That's fucking Minority Report, buddy.
You
got the oracles reading your social media posts?
Yeah, thought police, man.
Did you guys see this stuff with FEMA?
No, when you said that, I was like, what the fuck is that?
Isn't FEMA a government organization though?
Yeah. So with Hurricane Helene, there was a memo that came out to fucking FEMA workers saying avoid houses with Trump signs on the front door.
Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible, hand-picked gifts for everyone on your lists, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Uncommon Goods scours the globe for original, handmade, absolutely remarkable things. Somehow they know exactly the perfect gift for every single person you know. That's right. Here's a few of my favorite gifts that I found on their site. I've got really into fitness lately, so we found some acupressure recovery socks, some fitness and recovery massage cubes. We found 3-in-1 Doggy and Me water bottles for taking your friend out on a hike. You might as well pick up an Adventure Essentials Survival Kit. When you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. Many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. So to get your 15% off, go to uncommongoods.com/alien. That's uncommongoods.com/alien for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary.
Imagínate escuchar tu canción favorita como si fuera la primera vez. Te presentamos el totalmente nuevo y reimaginado Nissan Kicks con sonido Bose Personal Plus y bocinas en la parte superior de los asientos para crear una experiencia 360. Jamás has escuchado algo así. Reimagina tu música y tu forma de manejar. Descubre el totalmente nuevo y reimaginado Nissan Kicks en nissanusa.com. Función disponible. Bose es una marca registrada de The Bose Corporation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like fact. Legit.
I mean, those are
Look it up.
they're still American people.
Dude, that's not even if you think about it goes even further than just FEMA. Like even that fucking one NFL player wore a MAGA hat on the field, they fined him.
Yeah.
Right. And he was like, fucked him. And he's like, it looks like it looks like I get the last laugh on that one. It's
Listen,
like, what are you doing?
Nick Bosa's a fucking prick.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though. You know
That
what I
being-
mean? Like,
yeah,
here's
but
the thing:
anybody-
someone wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat, it doesn't stand for anything other than what it says on that.
They
hat.
took
Like,
a
I'm
firm
sorry.
stance at banning that kind of stuff, right? Like same with the fucking kneeling and all that type of shit. So like that's the reason
Okay.
he got
All right.
fined.
It's any political statement. Okay,
Yes,
that's fair enough.
that's
then.
why.
It's with
I
both
think it's
sides. Fair
stupid
enough.
too. I
Yeah.
agree. Nick Bosa's a fucking dipshit, but great football player.
But here, like, honestly, like to get into that, like, even leading up, it's wild to me now, even in the days after that he's won, you had him almost assassinated. And then I kind of felt like after the first assassination attempt, the Democrats kind of like fucking let the gas off of calling him Hitler nonstop.
Till just before the election again.
And then right before the election, they're like, this motherfucker's Hitler. He's Hitler. And then it's like, he wins. And they're like, Joe Biden's like, oh, well, he'll be in the White House next week. And with this, I'm like, that motherfucker's Hitler. Right?
He's Hitler.
That's what you just told everyone. Yeah. Now you're going to shake hands and have a peaceful transition with Hitler. I'm like, it's a weird thing to go all in. And then, you know what I mean? in that boat. And then just take a step back, be like, we're gonna have a peaceful transition and we're gonna work together. It's like, you just called this motherfucker Hitler for a year and said all his supporters are Nazis and racist and sexist and they're coming for women's rights and all this stuff. Nonstop. And they're like, no, we're gonna work together, guys. We're gonna work together.
I feel like
it's fucking weird.
All this Hitler name dropping almost minimizes what he did.
100%.
You know what 100%. I mean?
100%.
Like, it's like fucking enough.
He is in the Western world the most evil leader to live in the last 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Like that's what they teach you. That's what World War II was all about. All that stuff, and then just blast a potential president, but not even that, a guy who's already been the president. Yeah, for 4 years.
Well, and that's the other thing. Like people are like, wait, he's just gonna fucking devastate. I was like, he would have already done it. Wouldn't he have already done like the term limits and all this stuff? Like, wouldn't he have already done? Well,
just what I know about the United States, which is admittedly not a ton, but about their political system, is the way it's set up. It's to make it pretty much impossible for someone to do that. You would have to co-opt the military, the judicial branch. You have to do everything. You would have to have a full government coup and overthrow and pretty much rip the Constitution up and burn it, and that's it.
This was the last election. Oprah told me. We're never going to have an election again. She told me.
Oprah's a fucking cunt. Let me tell you about Oprah. First off,
okay,
let it fly.
Making a bold stance.
Let it fly, baby. Let's go.
Is Oprah going to be the next Diddy?
Oprah can suck my ass, and you can take that to the bank.
There you go.
Okay,
Oprah.
First off,
you're not going to be allowed to go in Hawaii after Oprah buys up all the properties.
$1 million fucking dollars. $1 million. She got paid $1 million cash to endorse Kamala. It's insane.
That's why
you got to get paid.
Dead.
Right? Yeah. Well, 100%. Right. And she was paying all these people to perform. Like Beyonce got like $10 million to show up and endorse her. It's like you're paying people for endorsement. So the second Oprah takes money then to give endorsement, I'm like, one, you're a piece of shit. Two, the other reason I think she's a piece of shit is because I watched that.
I want to hear 100 reasons why you think Oprah's a piece of shit. 100. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll give you a whole bunch.
Right. You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. Everybody's a piece of shit.
Let me tell you, she used to, like Bill Burr used to say, she stood on the backs of those midgets she used to have on her show in the 90s. I remember it. That shit used to be like Springer. The Oprah
she
show
was
used
like
to be like
back
Springer.
then. Dude, I remember when the Ninja Turtles came on her show.
All right? And then she got all high and mighty, right? Giving gifts. We don't forget, Oprah. I watched that Menendez brother documentary.
Yep.
And this fucking bitch in that documentary, she's fucking making fun of these guys for crying on the stand about being sexually abused by their dad. She's like, that doesn't happen to men. That doesn't happen to men. And then like later in the documentary, it's like Oprah's show and she's having the male sexual abuse survivor month. And she's like, it happens to men as well. And it's like 5 years earlier, she was fucking torching these two for saying they got abused by her dad.
She probably got paid to say the opposite.
Yeah,
that being said, I do not think they were abused. I think they lied.
I do. 100%. I think they lied. But I was just like, to take the stance. She's got no backbone. She'll do whatever she gets paid to do. Like, I don't fucking trust Oprah. Fuck Oprah. Fuck Ricky Lake. Fuck everybody
Whoa,
other than
keep
my
Ricky
boy.
out of your-
Other
keep
than my
Ricky's
boy.
name out your mouth. She was the best.
Other than my boy Jerry Springer watching us from
What
above.
about
Jerry.
Montel?
Jerry.
Montel? Ronaldo? Was
Mari?
it Ronaldo?
Mari, yeah.
Mari Povich, yeah.
Mari's
Hey,
good.
listen, they all fucking
Sally
pale
Jesse
in comparison
Raphael?
to my boy.
Remember her with
They
the red
all
glasses?
pale in comparison to my boy. Jerry Springer kept it real
Ricky Lake was
from day
good.
one.
I dig Ricky Lake.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I personally have always, not well before he was the president, I always thought Donald Trump was just a kind of a buffoon, just
Yeah,
kind of like.
Totally. I still do.
Yeah, nothing's changed.
And
for me.
I heard this said before, and I think it makes sense. Is like he might carry some good messages with him, but he's the wrong messenger.
yeah.
Like the
Well,
way
and
he
I think-
says shit, you're like, this guy's just a fucking buffoon, man.
You got to remember too, like, and it's insane to me that the left, the Democrats, forget that they had one of the most powerful, most influential people on earth, Joe Rogan, who is a lifelong Democrat, and they vilified him. You know what I mean? Like, I was like,
Well, I take horse medication. What do you expect?
Horse paste,
Right?
man.
Yeah,
Horse
right.
paste.
Horse paste.
like they were spreading misinformation about the guy and everything you do. I was like, this was one of your own. This was one of your own. The most influential guy
Yeah, but
was
he went against the narrative.
Yeah, he wouldn't play ball.
right. And like, to me, I think the political spectrum, just what happened, what we just saw was that I don't think, everyday people, you, me, regular middle-class people, I don't think we changed too much. I don't think all of a sudden all these people are racist Nazis, and they're just like, you know what? We got to hail Hitler. I think what happened is the spectrum pulled so hard left that it made people who were just be like, well, I just believe the same thing, but now my politics identify with conservative because of how things have shifted. That's
what happened to me.
If you would have had someone in the dead center, they probably would have taken a lot of those votes. But we don't. You have a two-tiered system there, and we're going to have that same thing in Canada. We've
Well, yeah. In
basically
Canada
moved
now
to
we have we have actually usually 5 parties that are represented, but
it's going to be 2.
our
always
current
2.
our current Liberal Party has gone so progressive that it's way too left wing for most people that would want
It's like
all those
it's like-
policies. and then the right wing has shifted so close to the center. And then especially our age, people have had kids, you've grown up, maybe you started a business. As you age, your politics do pull to the center because you're like, I like how we've progressed. I like how things are. I don't. That's good now.
We're good.
We're good.
Right
We're
here.
good right
Let's
here.
put
And
a pause.
that's for a lot of people. That's what happened. Like, do we want
And
to
listen,
do we
I
want
just-
to impose all these hate speech laws? And no, most people don't want that.
Well, is it like I forget what it was a Winston Churchill quote where he's like, if you're young and have a heart, you lean left, and if you're old and you have a brain, you lean right. Basically,
100%.
Yeah, which it's like perfect. I'm pretty sure it's Churchill.
And it's for me personally, like I voted conservative for the first time in my life in the provincial election, and I actually think the conservative leader
Sucked.
is an absolute putz. Like I'm just like every time he talked, I was like, God, honestly, man, if you just he would have done better for me if he just stood up in the debate and they asked a question and he was silent for 60 seconds, just stood in silence and just wagged his finger and just put his finger up.
I don't like what they're doing. That's
Put his
it.
finger up. That would have, because every time he talked, I was like, oh, dude, you're making it really hard for me to vote for you.
100%.
I just hate what's going on.
We need change.
We need change.
We actually made it worse, to be honest.
Yeah. We got to swing things back a little. And, so it's like you lost a lot of, and we saw in our provincial election, just this huge right wing swing. I mean, the left still won. Our NDP government still won. But I think that right wing swing you're going to see, I think we're going to have a conservative majority government in Canada next election.
Well, especially here because like BC, we're historically very liberal. Like we are and to see this big of a right wing swing is fucking crazy.
Like it was close. 2 ridings came down to 2 ridings, right, to form a new government. And conservatives flipped a ton of ridings that were lifelong, like NDP or Green, especially on Vancouver Island. right?
I mean,
like
also
Vancouver Island's like an
our
NDP stronghold.
Also, our center left party just folded out of thin air. It was part of the
that's
reason.
true.
yeah.
That's fair.
Like, they just folded.
Yeah.
There's like, you know what? We don't stand a chance this time, so we're just going to leave. And hopefully everyone votes. But that's what happened. Then people who are like, the center left guy, and now I'm not going to vote Conservative. I just don't. So I guess I got to vote NDP, or they didn't vote.
And the thing is, I'm like,
But I love paying taxes. I love our NDP overlords who just increase 45 taxes over 7 years, and just taxes
yeah.
on sugar, taxes on this and that, bag tax, paper straw, tax on tax, income tax, taxing my income tax on income tax.
Yeah, but if you
I love
don't
all that
like
stuff.
if you don't want to pay taxes, you can just start stealing things.
It's true.
Because that's okay too, because you don't go to jail.
yeah.
You can steal.
Honestly,
steal
and
it. You
honestly,
need to steal.
and I'll tell people in the States, and this is for anyone who've been like, fuck you guys, and who want to get mad, give someone a review because we're fucking talking about the election. If you came to Canada, come to British Columbia, you can see how far things will go if you continue to go down the path you were going. And it's bad here. It is bad.
so
Like,
bad.
I think
rampant homelessness, rampant drug use.
We got nothing
It's
on the even farther left-leaning west coast of America when you go to LA,
Yeah.
and there's a legit
Yeah.
100,000 homeless people.
Yeah, we don't have the numbers.
There's thousands.
Per
And
capita,
and
our numbers are super high though.
compared to LA, I don't think even we got it.
I thought per capita the downtown east side is
Because I think I looked it up recently. There was like 3,000, they think, on the east side, but a full
it's
city
way
of
more
homeless
than that.
people in LA County.
yeah.
Not,
What's the
but LA
population?
County is huge, right? It's 20 million
That's what I
people.
mean. That's why I'm saying per capita. I think it's
Let's look.
But it's like
fact check.
it's literally every single
fact check.
Highest homeless population
per capita.
per
unhoused.
capita. No, homeless.
Yeah, sorry.
Unhoused.
Come on.
Or I mean, say whatever you want now.
I will say this. Every single community in
Here it is.
British Columbia has some sort of tent city right now.
We're
Every single
we're
community.
wrong. It's actually
San Francisco.
Eugene, Oregon.
Oh yeah, or Eugene, Oregon's a dump.
Yeah.
I could have told you that.
California, New York, and Florida have a combined 315,000 homeless individuals, which account for half of the entire U.S. population.
That's crazy.
California, 181,000 in California alone. Actually, Vancouver does not
And
making the list.
it's one of those things where it's like people like I think especially here it's like, well, we have to help these people, and we do. People need assistance.
You need help.
Things have gotten so out of control with inflation and that it's like it's pushed people into homelessness. But I don't believe the way out of homelessness is to use
By enabling it?
an insane amount of taxpayer money to give the unhoused and homeless people so many benefits. It pulls even more people into that system. People that are on the edge.
People
of-
choosing to, they're
Yes.
opting into that situation.
Yes, 'cause they're
and
like-
again,
they're like,
I'm
I'm
not
fucked,
like,
I'm fucked. No,
if
we're
you
not-
think
we're not shitting on it.
we're not lying. Like this is a fucking
These are
fact.
facts. Facts.
And it might be shitty to hear it, but it's the truth.
I mean,
like
it's-
you
And
have
we're speaking our
conversations
truth.
with these people.
We're speaking our truth from where we live in
this is
British
what it is.
Columbia,
The
Canada.
craziest thing is, so we have all these policies. I mean, a lot of these people are, victims of abuse, leads to addiction. You burn all the bridges with your family. It's fucking terrible. But it's increasing at a rate that's exponential. And then we have all these policies that provide them, with cell phones and this and that, safe, clean drugs, safe, and sites to do the drugs. And then we also have a lot of safe spaces for them to stay, but you can't do drugs there. But then you get free drugs if you don't go there. So you do them on the street because you get free, and it's insane. And then also, this is even worse though. The worst part about it is we've built an entire industry of business professionals that are getting paid to take care of the problem by also just making the problem worse. And then that system
Totally.
grows
It's an
and
industry.
grows and grows. And then you had 1,000 people employed, and now you got 30,000 people employed to take care of the problem. And the problem is increasing at the same rate as the funding to take care of the problem. It's become a business. Sadly.
We have
It's an industry.
If you don't have an issue with drug addicts getting access to free, clean drugs, but yet we cannot provide diabetics with insulin for free, even in Canada. That's a fucking problem.
Look how expensive EpiPens are.
Right? Like, that's insane. We have life-saving drugs for people who are working class people that need these that
Not
we will
only
not
that-
provide for, but a guy on the street will make sure his meth is Walter White pure. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking insane. We got Walter White cooking the good stuff for the meth addicts because we can't have it in beer for him. But yet a diabetic is choosing whether or not he can put food on the table or fucking buy insulin. There's something wrong with the system that needs to change. I'm sorry. Like, if you're the person addicted to meth, my apologies to you. You're probably not listening to our show. Actually, you're probably listening to our show on your government subsidized cell phone.
Listen, meth's probably a hell of a drug, no doubt about it. So there's a reason people get addicted to meth. It's probably fucking awesome, right?
Yeah.
Amphetamines like that.
Amphetamines, those are good. I mean,
People love them.
addicts wise, those are the busy ones. Those are the ones doing stuff.
And keep you going. I mean, you can take over an entire continent if your soldiers are on meth. All right, this is now known.
Yeah. Yep.
The Nazis took over fucking Europe by pumping their soldiers full of amphetamines and this blitzing around Europe in tanks and
we're
marching
still
for 4
using
days straight. Like that's what meth got them.
Blitzkrieg.
Blitzkrieg, man.
Yeah.
Can't do that with regular sober people.
No.
No, and so now this next 4 years, what do you think? Do we think we
5? It's a 5-year election in BC.
For the states. We got
states.
Trump coming up 2025. Are we learning more about UFOs? You think we're with the
Didn't
people?
he say something already?
Boys,
his
9 years
Trump
in?
Jr. Donald Trump Jr. was saying Alex Jones for press secretary. That would be the greatest thing of all time. You would sell so much advertising money on every news channel, having him coming up.
For,
All right, listen
for
up.
supplements, you'd sell so much for supplements.
Listen up, everybody. Every press conference, we're taking questions.
Honestly, I think we've now did the ATT for 9 years. I think it was like 2017, which was the first like admission of the ATIP program and all that.
Yeah,
It ramped up for a while.
it's subsided.
Nothing.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing a ramp up with Immaculate Constellation. That's the new government. I don't know if you guys have been following that at all. It's like we don't know a lot of information, but that's the next thing that's been leaked.
Immaculate Constellation.
Immaculate Reception. That's Franco Harris catching the ball in
Immaculate
the Super Bowl.
Constellation. That's the new government program studying UAPs and stuff that was recently leaked. But we don't have a lot of information on it yet.
Well, it's on News Nation, and that's the debrief, which is fucking Jeremy Corbell.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Corbell.
instantly I just take it with a grain of salt because every time this comes up, honestly, every time someone's like, "I got the facts, I got the insider," Corbell gets in there. He's saying it's coming, it's fucking coming. We're gonna get some proof. Here's some videos. Nothing's ever come. Honestly, personally, the more it comes out, the more I just think we have beyond next level technology that is maybe just ours, like the Blackbird was in 1967 and didn't come up till 95. I almost feel like that's coming. Maybe in another 10 years, but guess what? In 2004, we had hypersonic aerial drones that ran off some type of anti-gravitic fuel.
I fully believe
And we're like, oh, that makes sense then. I mean, that's why we couldn't explain these fucking things. That seems more plausible
that theory,
at this point.
That would also make a lot more sense that these things were popping up at military training missions, and especially from the points of like Commander Fravor and Kevin Day, where they were saying that like these things almost knew where we were going. And that's because it did. These were other United States assets testing to see if their own assets could detect them, find them, or destroy them.
Makes tons of
Right?
sense.
Well, okay, let's hear what it is, though, because I pulled it up. Immaculate Constellation. What is Immaculate Constellation? Here it is. According to a whistleblower, unnamed, obviously, the program allegedly includes information from different types of intelligence, including high-quality image and audio, and different signal measures and signature intelligence. Who is the whistleblower? Schellenberger did not reveal the whistleblower, but did tell News Nation that he met with the whistleblower and verified their credentials. All right, that means nothing. According to Schellenberger, the whistleblower discovered the program by accident after stumbling upon a database containing UFO information. Also believable. So it's always by accident. I had just randomly hacked into the government server and stumbled across these files. Has the Pentagon responded? They deny. Obviously, they're going to deny. Has the Pentagon acknowledged any UAP programs? Yes, I mean, RO, ATIP. The report did acknowledge the existence of the Kona Blue program, which is intended to reverse engineer any recovered UAP technology. But it doesn't say that any UAP technology was recovered. What's next for UAP disclosure? A bipartisan group of lawmakers has already pushed for more disclosure, of course. They've announced plans. That's what I mean. It's always this. It's always that. Announce plans, do this. Hey, who's that motherfucker? Who's that fucker right there?
I was like, who's opening the door, letting the kids in?
Look at that mustache he's got.
Muzzy.
Watch him slink back into the abyss. Okay, get out of here. We're trying to record a show here.
That's Mr. Conspiracy, if you didn't.
Yeah.
If you're not watching.
He popped in here. He's banned.
He's banned. He banned himself from the show, I believe, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I mean that I always just hope one day it happens. But it never happens. When will it happen? It's always like I met a whistleblower, I confirmed his credentials. I can't tell you what his credentials are, but I can confirm I met with him.
So I saw a good one. I saw a good one you'd like that popped up. I know this was the election special, but I was reading this theory, and this guy's like, NASA knows about some sort of dark dwarf star on the edge of our solar system that pulses every 12,500 years and causes a cataclysmic event.
A dwarf. Well, you can't see it though.
No, but it pulses, and it causes.
So wait, it's
NASA,
black. You can't see it until it pulses.
How many more years we got then?
I don't know. Every 12,500, Younger Dryas, baby.
I think
long was Younger Dryas again?
I think we're over that. 11,800 years ago or something was the end of it.
We're coming pretty close to a next one. A couple more generations.
Oh, we'll be
Like
toast.
that.
That's fine.
What'd you say? NASA dark dwarf star
Star, yeah, something like that.
in our solar system.
I get weird shit pop up on my Twitter. I'm down all the
So
rabbit
you're not getting porn and murder anymore?
NASA identifies tiniest free floating brown dwarf.
I get
It's 1,000 light years away. Never mind.
Murder and conspiracies now. Not as much
Pinot?
not as much Pinot. Which is good because I like opening acts, and before I'd have to be like hi.
Yeah. Well, you only get it in the For You section. You don't open For You in public. Everybody knows
That's
that.
all I open in public is For You.
Oh, God. I don't touch it in public. I don't want to get exposed.
No, I mean, like I said, I don't think a lot of things. It's crazy because I'm like, we're seeing a stock market rebound. We're seeing crypto hitting all time highs ever since Trump got in. Right? We have China being like, hey, hopefully we have peace. Right? We want peace. And
I mean, stock markets always fall and rebound around election cycle.
Yeah. But I don't think our friends in the States, if you're in the States and you're worried, I don't think you have anything to really worry about, because to be honest, it's the United States political system is so controlled by special interest group that nothing really changes for you. Nothing.
Honestly, that's kind of, people talk about the deep state.
Yeah.
The entrenched, unelected business leaders, groups, lobbyists, all that stuff that has been there entrenched for generations now. You have to battle through all of that first before you really can do anything.
What's the Federal Reserve guy's name? Powell?
Oh, there's a whole
Jerome Powell? Powell, he's the fucking whatever, the chair of the Federal Reserve. They're like, are you worried about Trump coming and firing you? He's like, he doesn't have the power. They're like, couldn't he remove you? or ask you to step down. He's like, he could, but I don't have to. I don't have to do anything he says.
Well,
I'm like, that's a problem.
It's not a federal.
That's a problem. Yeah, that's a
Control.
That's a
Even though it
problem.
says Federal Reserve,
It's
its name.
It's separate from the government. They control the
that's
money
a
supply.
problem.
Sense.
Like, if you don't think that's a problem and you're living in the States, like, you want to know who has power? The guy, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, who doesn't have to answer to the fucking elected president of the people.
And at the same time, though, you wouldn't want the government to be able to make their own money just if they want
That's
to.
true. Yes.
that would also lead nowhere good. But just like in Canada, if the government wants stimulus, the Bank of Canada will give them stimulus. They don't have to, but they're like, it's still the will of the people, and the bank will. That's why we're $1 trillion in debt over 4 years.
Yeah, it's been. I think everyone in the West here has had a rough. It's been a rough like 6 years. The last 6 years.
You know what? Because times get when in the West for the last, since World War II, times have been so good compared to all of human history that we just continue to make laws and do this and try and keep ourselves busy and create jobs. And then it gets to a point where there's so many laws and so many barriers to business and all this stuff. Then people get sick of it. And I think that's kind of where people are. It's just like, it's a sign that the times were so good that we made it shittier just because we were bored.
Yeah.
Like, we should just keep making all this stuff. And
we had nothing to squabble about. So we're like, you know what ticks me off? When people assume my gender. They're like, I should be asked ahead of every conversation what I am.
In a way.
Like,
there was nothing.
like,
There was nothing else in the news
so-
that was super. So we had a very small vocal group get really, really loud.
Easy times make weak people.
Oh yeah, the cycle. Yeah, hard times make strong men. Strong men make good times. Good times make weak men. Weak men make hard times.
So are we the weak men?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Definition.
100%.
100%.
Yeah. It's our picture in that weak men column.
There's never been conflict. It's been relatively easy. I don't know if there ever will be like massive conflict like World War II again, but
no, I can't.
It's all digital, digital warfare now,
Yeah.
misinformation
then I'm
through
dead for
social
sure.
media, all that stuff, financial warfare. That's what the warfare is. Proxy wars. We support wars in other countries, but we don't actually do anything there. All that fucking fun stuff.
Yeah,
It's easy to support wars when the money's just coming right back to you.
100%. We can give the money for our own weapons manufacturers to make more weapons.
Yes,
Damn
genius.
smart.
Well, this is speaking about Canada. It's like the amount of money that we're pouring into Ukraine to support Ukraine in the Ukraine war. And like, just Canadians are fucking struggling. And we're like, that's our biggest worry. I'm like,
All right, Brayden, how do you end the war in Ukraine tomorrow if you had the power? What are you going to do?
if
you
I'm
had the
call
power.
Trump. And I'm going to be like, do your thing, buddy.
Do you concede Eastern Europe to Russia? Draw a new boundary? Is that how you end? That's how you end the war?
Well, here's the thing.
Will it drop cheese prices?
Here's the thing.
Cheese, yeah. Will cheese prices come down? Because if so, I'm in.
This is my thought on the process. Because didn't Trump just come out and say that if Russia invaded Canada right now because we don't adequately spend, he wouldn't
support us?
help us?
Probably.
But here's the thing. When was the Bay of Pigs invasion, where the Russians were going to put missiles on Cuba?
60s.
Yeah,
60s, and the
JFK
states
times,
were
right?
like, absolutely not. We will not allow you to put nuclear weapons that close to us. We will fucking go to war right now if you think we're going to let that happen. That's what Russia said with Ukraine, right? And we're just like, we'll do it anyways. We'll just have them join us. It's like,
Well, Russia did put nukes in Cuba.
do they have nukes there now?
I don't know if they have them now.
I don't think so.
Did they not put? It wasn't the whole thing.
I don't
Did they
think
put
so.
nukes in Cuba?
No. I think they were held off because I think we blocked them at the Bay of Pigs invasion. I think we blocked that, and we were like, if you go any further, we will fucking go to nuclear war due to this.
Cuban Missile Crisis, October 1962. Here it is. Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev reached a secret agreement with Cuban Premier Fidel Castro to place Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba. Now, did they actually go there? U.S. intelligence discovered evidence of this. Blah, blah, blah. 28 bombers. Oh, so they had bombers. 28 bombers. Routine surveillance. Two aircraft
blocked the Russians.
Took several pictures of clearly showing sites for medium-range, intermediate-range ballistic nuclear missiles under construction.
Yeah.
Kennedy summoned his closest advisors. Direct course of action. Oh, so the article's way too long.
But I just think, I'm like, listen, if Russia's gonna concede that they'll leave Ukraine alone if Ukraine's not part of NATO, don't make Ukraine part of NATO. What NATO was there to stop the spread of the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union collapsed.
Well, Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union.
Yes, but I'm saying that NATO was formed to stop the spread of the Soviet Union.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, the expansion. Yeah. And that collapsed years ago. So when you keep spreading NATO, I mean, listen, they're a powerhouse.
Are you a Putin apologist?
No, I'm not a Putin apologist. What I'm saying is, I'm like if we're not going to, would we let, do you think the States would let Russia fucking load up?
That's why they created NATO.
Yeah.
Right. It makes sense, right? No.
Well, I'm just saying I feel like we've backed them into a corner, and I'm not a Russia apologist.
No,
right?
Yeah.
But I feel like we backed them into a corner.
What are they supposed to do?
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Probably not bomb Ukraine was been a good start.
Yeah, it would be great, but at the same time, it's like when you tell your kid you threaten something, you don't want to do it. You're just like, fuck.
Well, I think we've put so many. I think what we've done with Russia, and this is just, I'm a fucking idiot. This is just
we're all idiots, 100%.
We're idiots. Don't take anything we're saying seriously.
Yeah,
don't
talking shit.
So
stupid.
I think we've absolutely crippled Russia's economy by all the embargoes and everything we've done to them. That the only way for them to survive is to do exactly what the States does, and that's turn into a war-based economy.
Well, I've heard all those sanctions and stuff, yes, but also the biggest manufacturer in the world that has no sanctions, China.
Yeah.
So on Russia. So that's why Russia's now getting all their stuff from China, which we also get all our stuff from China.
So it's falling apart, is what we're saying?
It's coming apart in the wash.
You get that in Temu fucking weapons?
No, man. China builds all of our stuff.
Alibaba.
Even if it's assembled in America or Canada or somewhere else, the parts are all made in China. So China from the 80s is way different from China manufacturing now. Like China electronics and stuff now, better than most of the world. And if they take over Taiwan, which they want to, then they're going to have all the microchips, all the fucking those tiny
honestly,
little
they're probably kicking themselves now because they're like, we should have done it in the last 4 years.
Yeah, now
it's too late.
Now it's not the time. Now it's too late.
Now we got a fucking maniac. Let's drop bombs
on us. But listen, everyone in the States, all the
you never answered my question. How are you going to end the war in Ukraine?
Oh, how in the
war?
Yes, I would say
he knows. I know he knows. Look at him.
Hands across America.
Yeah,
that's how we stop it.
I would run across Canada to stop it.
Create awareness.
An
awareness campaign.
Yeah. I would probably end up running just like Terry Fox, just because of my sciatic. No, I think I would agree. Like, hey, if you leave Ukraine's borders intact, like leave Crimea, will NATO expansion will not go into Ukraine.
We will never. We will never leave Crimea. That's what they're going to say.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one because it's like, then you're also saying that
you give us Crimea and we'll leave the rest of Ukraine.
Doesn't have the will to do what it wants, right? Because if they want to join NATO, they should be able to do whatever. You know what I'd say? I'd be like, Russia, you want to join NATO? Fuck it, you're into.
Well, China keeps getting bigger. They might have to.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'd be like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get Russia in NATO. Now you're NATO. You're part of the team. Have we thought about that?
Let's go back.
Beat them, join them.
I'm going to give. I think we should disband NATO and give every country the Tesla death ray, just in case they get invaded, and they can zap everything that comes through the border. Then everyone's fine. No one wants to invade. Everyone's got the death ray equally.
Yeah.
And the death ray doesn't cause widespread like radiation poisoning or anything. It's just the death ray. Just pluck them out of the sky. No, that whole thing is fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
And the craziest part about the current wars we see now is you can actually like watch them in real time on social media.
Everyone's filming it.
You have soldiers like live streaming off a GoPro on the front lines. And they got fucking RPGs flying across and self-guided like shoulder-mounted rocket missiles, tanks. It's insane. It's like you're watching Call of Duty like on Twitch, but it's just real life.
Dude,
There's
Twitter
people
is
getting
just
blown up
filled with drones dropping grenades or like fucking phosphorus on Russian soldiers.
It's insane.
That's all it is. All right, yeah, it's wild. But like, you know, to our friends in the South who, you know, some of them might be upset with this election, I honestly don't think, you know, if you're a woman listening, I don't think you're losing any rights. I don't think a lot's going to change for you. I know Roe versus Wade was overturned, but it's up to your state. So if you live in a state,
but that's already that was already overturned. It's not like it's going to be.
But if you live in a state that is overturned, and you're like, and I, you know, from what I've read, is no one's been prosecuted for getting abortion. The thing is like, you'll be arrested. I was like, everything I've looked into has said that that's just not true.
That whole thing just seems like it was like, why even go back and try and just leave it out? It was over. It's 30 years ago. Why did we even go back and get rid of it? That was such like overturning that court case was dumb. Weird. Yeah. It was already happened. It's like going back and like, you know what? We're going to reverse all these other safety features that have been around in society for the last 40 years. And let's get rid of them just for fun. Doesn't make any sense, but we're just going to get rid of that. That whole thing makes no sense.
But I think
I know what you're saying is it's already been done and it's up to the states. And
yeah, I don't think you're gonna. I don't think you're gonna lose your right to vote. I don't think you're gonna be put in jail.
Wait, is that something that people are saying?
That's what I've seen. I've seen online.
You can't vote when there's no more elections.
That's true. It's over. It's true.
Yeah. Listen, it's over. It's done.
This whole election was based on from both sides as this is the end of democracy if the other side wins.
The last
so it's
one.
over.
This is it.
Right?
Yeah.
Democracy's over in the States. No more voting.
Done.
But hey, I think it's gonna be okay. Listen, I think we're in for an interesting 4 years. The press conferences are gonna be way better, way funnier.
Podcasting's back, baby.
Yeah, podcast is back.
I hope so.
100%. I hope Mongoloid Gary's out there listening again.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that censorship on social media, primarily YouTube, got out of control. Out of control.
Yeah, it was wild.
This is for saying a word, banned, copyright strike, whatever you name it, medical misinformation, no recourse. You couldn't dispute.
We almost got banned from it, and we gave out no medical misinformation or information. Zero.
We gave out fictional scenarios.
This is a zero information podcast.
Zero information.
This is shinfo, strictly shitty information.
Dude, the whole censorship thing on YouTube through the pandemic of like just legit people citing their concerns, and then a couple years after the pandemic, turns out that they're actually saying all the right stuff. Those people were banned, accounts taken down. It was insane.
It's 1984.
Yeah, it is, dude.
It was.
Thought police.
It's crazy.
Thought police.
It's terrifying.
And I mean, listen. If you're on the left, and if you're on the left side, I think
we are too.
We are too.
Yeah, we are too. We are too.
Like,
I think you have to take a step back and kind of look at what went wrong there in that election and how you lost a lot of support from
not electing your representation. That's
a good start.
Exactly, right. And just looking at that, and then you have 4 years to make changes. You have 4 years to kind of retool and make changes and change the way you do business, because if the way you're going to do business continually is how you were doing business, you're going to lose even more. You're just going to disenfranchise more of the middle class, and more of the people are going to lean into the right, the conservative and Republican. And I don't necessarily think that's the best thing. I think it's good when the kind of ships, you kind of steer right to left. We're going to get there eventually, but it's, You know, you don't want to be going one way too far. So it's a good time to look in the mirror, re-look at your elected officials, and if you can make changes in your, you know, in your areas, get out there and vote, make changes, get those old boys out of there.
You
and get
heard
some new,
Democratic
fresh-
Party. Braden's fixing your
Braden's
problems.
going to fix your problems.
He's fixing
Vote
it.
me in.
And then
Give him
I
a job.
think
maybe he should be the representative.
I really think that
Ted Cruz is Canadian.
this is
He's
true.
in there.
He's also the Zodiac killer, though.
This is also true.
Yeah.
Yeah, this time around though, you got your old boy Trumpy, right?
Who do you
But-
who do you think the highway tears killer is?
You got Trump, but this time it seems, at least from an outsider looking in, the people around him seem pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Just from looking at from outside.
So.
More or less reasonable. They don't seem like they're fascist dictators. At
Not
first
half
glance.
as scary as Pence.
Pence was
Holy
terrifying,
fuck,
dude.
that guy was terrifying.
Terrifying. So, I mean, the world will go on. And as we said, I truly think if there is change, it'll be minimal because there's such vested interest through the business community. The actual
100%.
I've probably talked about it before, but like I think it was 2006 study from Princeton, pretty much saying that America is an oligarchy through business connections and family lines. It's like it's almost proven, like because it's so entrenched that whoever gets in power, you get into that Oval Office and you start taking those meetings, and people come in there like, listen, this is how it's been going. We know you want to change stuff, but good luck.
This is what you can change.
You know, good luck. Who knows? As Canadians, I mean, Canada is in a lot of ways the 51st state. So what happens in American politics directly affects Canada because it's our biggest trading partner, number one, by 1,000 times over. And it's the border is unprotected. Canadians can go to America. Americans can come here with no visa for half the year, 6 months of the year with no questions asked. It's a very much like a mutual relationship. So what happens down there affects up here.
If you think that it's bad for you, your new president-elect openly has a fucking hate on for our
current
prime minister
leader
and whatever Christina Freeland or whatever her name
hates
is.
them.
He hates them with passion. Doesn't like them
for good reason. I mean, we all hate them.
He was like, he called Justin Trudeau Two-Face, and he's like, that's going to cost them big time. I was like, we're about to, like, Canadians we're about to feel the pinch because of our poor leadership.
Yeah,
because of the Donald Trump getting in.
We're in a way worse position than you.
Way worse position. If you guys think you guys are bad, you know, it doesn't matter what you guys think you are. We're in a worse position, and the two people that we're going to have to vote for next year are even worse than the two you just had to vote for. But one, like, by tenfold. So it'll be. Don't worry about it. You guys will be fine.
Fine.
Pray for us up here.
And pray for
no Mexicans.
Pray for aliens are real because that's going to kickstart the show again.
Yeah, listen, prolapsers, we need you back on Patreon. Now that we're back, we can say that again. We're not getting in trouble.
Yeah, we are going to get into trouble if we say that, but
too late. It's back. Listen, get on our Patreon, patreon.com/Alien Theorists podcast, or Supercast. Go to our website, alientheorists.com. Hit that support tab.
That's the best way.
Fucking help your boys out. Be like Daddy Warbucks, who's been fucking
help us out with these tariffs that are coming.
The tariffs are coming.
Yeah.
Tariffs are coming on the border, and the tariffs are coming through Apple. So the tariffs are hitting us hard, all right?
Yeah.
All right, that was fun. Good chat. Good chat.
Right.
Just for talking shit. Take it easy, everybody.
And don't get
Take
mad.
it easy.
And listen, hit us a 5-star review. Listen, if you listen to the show, give us a 5-star
Maybe a 1
review.
star after
help
that.
the boys out. Yeah. Well, listen, we're gonna get
Dan.
1 star and 5
From
stars.
Dan.
Dan's like, they stole it. They rigged it. Like, Dan's gonna be leading the insurrection January
he's gonna be
6th with the
there.
fucking with his big old bull bison hat on, leading the charge through the Capitol. I think that would be so funny. You have Joe Biden leading the charge. They fucking stole it.
What did they steal?
all these pink-haired liberals going through screaming at right. It's gonna be interesting.
That'd be equal,
It's
you know.
gonna happen.
Then it's fair.
Yeah.
That's democratic.
Yeah.
One
Yeah, but
insurrection
I
each.
expect just as much jail time.
Yeah, 100%. That being said, hey, keep those eyes on the skies.